Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. The Kremlin has confirmed that French President Emmanuel Macron refused a Russian COVID test ahead of his meeting with Russia's President Vladimir Putin. The photo of the pair at either end of an enormous table in the Kremlin went viral online earlier this week. However, sources say the local COVID test that was required was unacceptable and did not fit the French leader's schedule. It follows reports that Mr. Macron refused the PCR test over fears the Russians would get hold of his DNA. They did not shake hands and instead sat either end of a 4-metre-long table between them. Iran's president says he never pins hope on ongoing talks in Vienna aimed at reviving the country's 2015 nuclear agreement with world powers. Ebrahim Raisi, whose election last June led to a 5-month hiatus in the talks, said Iran would rely on its domestic economic potential rather than expect support from overseas. Iran and the United States resumed indirect talks in the Austrian capital on Tuesday, but envoys gave little away as to whether they were closer to resolving various issues. A so-called French freedom convoy of trucks, tractors and cars has been greeted with cheers in the southwest city of Lyon on Friday morning. People waved French flags as the convoy drove through with horns blaring. Fireworks were set off in the air above crowds of people singing and dancing. It's as convoys from all over France plan to converge on Paris and Brussels to demand an end to COVID-19 restrictions. At least 111 people in Madagascar are now known to have died since Cyclone Batirai hit the Indian Ocean island nearly a week ago. Many homes simply crumpled in the ferocious winds, leaving around 30,000 people living in emergency shelters. This drone footage shows the extent of the damage in the coastal city of Batirai. 87 of the 111 deaths resulting from Cyclone Batirai were in the southeastern district of Ikongo. The South Africa President's annual State of the Nation address lasted longer than usual, perhaps because it was packed full of something to appease everyone.
If there is one thing we all agree...
It comes at a time when Cyril Ramaphosa's government is under pressure from all angles after a series of crises. His address included old commitments, including economic reforms and handling the energy shortages that has caused blackouts.
In our country,
He also promised that his government would work on industrialising the hemp and cannabis industry, which could create more than 130,000 jobs. Moroccan authorities have decided to survey all abandoned wells across the country after a trapped boy died despite an unsuccessful rescue attempt last week. 5-year-old Rayan, who fell down a narrow 32-metre deep borehole, gripped millions in Morocco and beyond. A water ministry official said the survey was designed to prevent a repeat of the tragedy. More than 1,000 Moroccans a year are already being punished for illegal drilling. It's emerged that a 15-year-old Russian figure skating star who helped her team win Winter Olympic gold in Beijing failed a drugs test back in December. Kamila Valieva, here training on the ice earlier today, was the first female skater to land a quadruple jump in the competition as her team won last Monday. However, her positive test result that was recorded in December was only reported on Tuesday, the day after she helped her team win gold, but before the medal ceremony had taken place. A series of appeals means this case will now be taken to the Court of Arbitration for Sport. And finally, a rather novel way to celebrate Valentine's Day. A zoo in the UK is offering people the unique opportunity to name a cockroach after their ex or someone they don't like to mark the day. For a small donation, people will receive a certificate and have their chosen person added to the roach board. Former and current British Prime Ministers David Cameron and Boris Johnson are already both on the board. Money raised will fund conservation projects at the zoo.
It's a good way to have a little giggle to yourself or with your friends, but also we're saying if you wanted a name after a politician maybe this year, then you're more than welcome to. All names are welcome. And it's all to raise money for projects that we're doing here at the zoo and helping us care for all the animals here.
And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel Studios in Lagos.